Hi, everybody. Welcome to our guide to grounding. I'm Denise Dunleavy, and I'm here with Mary Beth Nunez. And we're so excited today to talk to you about grounding, which is so important. We both use it in our everyday lives and also in our professional work. So we wanted to share a little bit about how important it is and how we use it. And also, this is a great chance to get to know us. We want to show you a little bit about what we do. And also, we'd love to get to know you too. Feel free to respond to emails that we send, comment anywhere that you follow us. We would love to see what else you would like to hear. So, as I said, my name is Denise. I'm an animal communicator and intuitive counselor, and animal communication is my specialty. I love animals. I love talking to them, and I've learned that this is a special ability that I have. I do think everyone can talk to animals, though, so I also teach animal communication, and I love to help people grow their own intuition. And I also work with people, and my style is that I like to hear what's going on. And often when people are talking about their lives, I get information and I just seem to know what they need to hear. So I am excited today to talk about the spiritual side of things and how you can increase your spiritual practice. Mary Beth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much, Denise, and thank you all for signing up for this spending time with us today. Grounding is so important, and it seems like such a simple practice, but it's not always easy. And yet, it's so important in anything you do, from getting on a horse, spending time with your horse, spending time with your dog, any animal you have, and even just spending a being in that moment with your animal. It's so important to come from a space of neutrality and a space of just grounded. So, what we like to do, and what Denise and I decided to do this collaboration together, is to kind of empower you guys, because we'd love to work with all of you. But this is one thing that we'd like to encourage you to do before you do a reading with us, or before you do a bodywork session with me. Um, this is something that you can do every day, and in any place you are, especially in traffic. So it's such an important practice that we really are excited to share with you guys. Um, and like Denise said, I'm Mary Beth, and I am also a animal communicator. I have a few different tools in my toolbox. I work with humans and animals as a physio, as well as a body worker. But my passion really is partnership and holistic partnership between the individual and their animal. And I go about that in a couple of different ways, because we're not just a body, we're a body, mind, and spirit. And so, like Denise said, today we get to explore a little bit more of the spiritual side, but I'd also like to say the mental side, because that can really help to empower even your physical side. So you can contact me at magicallyaligned.com. And whether you're looking for an animal communication session, a body work session, an intuitive session, or a coaching session, please let me know. My passion is horses, but I work with all animals. So, and I'm just looking forward to spending some time with you all today. So, thank you, Denise, and thank you all for subscribing.
Yeah, I love that you started talking about horses because we do have specialties. I talk to horses, but Mary Beth certainly knows a lot more about the details of them. And I have cats, so I know a lot about the ins and outs of that. But I always say it's kind of up to the animal how a session goes. So we can always just see what they have to say. And as Mary Beth mentioned, grounding is a great thing that you can do to prepare for a session. And that just helps everyone to get into the right space. Often, if we're doing a reading for an animal, they are reacting to their people's energy. So if the person is anxious before reading, the animal might be anxious as well. And that's just because they're taking their cues from their people. So being grounded helps us to be focused. it is also really important for being present. So that is present in mind and body. And this is so important because we have so many things going through our head every day. We're worrying, we're thinking about things, and we very rarely just stop. So we're going to go through a couple exercises today to help you do just that.
I love that. I love that, Denise. So how about we just take a moment here and explain to people kind of what we're going to do today? I think that's a perfect time. We're going to keep talking to you a little bit more about what is, this grounding. A lot of people may hear that word and just think of it as a woo-woo word, or, something that means that you just have to walk around barefoot. And there's a little bit more and a little bit easier ways to just ground. So we'll dive into what is grounding, why is it important, and like Denise said, how do we find it? So we'll run you guys through a couple of exercises, and then take a look at your emails, because we will be emailing kind of a checklist sheet, so that you can go in and refer to this at a later date. So awesome. Well, Denise, should we start with what is even grounding? What are we even talking about?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. I'll take that. Horses have been a big inspiration for me with grounding, and especially living in such a busy world. We are just go, 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 and always thinking about what's in the next moment, what's happening either yesterday or what's happening 2 days from now or even 2 hours from now. And we're so busy that we often forget just to pause and be in the moment. So that's, to me, what really grounding is just taking a moment to center yourself and to just simply be in that moment, to kind of clear away the clouds in our mind and just kind of just be there. I read a great book the other day that kind of talked about the importance of meditation and gave the example of a pail of water that's just been outside just collecting all this gunk. And you're not going to get a reflection out of a gunky pail of water. So what do you have to do? You have to kind of either stir it or redo the water. And that's kind of what I feel is almost meditation, is that in order to get the messages clearer from either our animals or even our own selves, we have to clear that crap or the gunk out and kind of clear that water so that you yourself can be a clear vessel.
Yes, I love that example, because we're cleaning our energy, and also the neutrality is so important. And I think especially in the world that we live in right now, there's a lot of division. There's a lot of people on different sides of an argument, and grounding can help with non-reactivity. So for me personally, I don't want to get involved in arguments. I want everyone to get along. Why can't we all just get along? So, but grounding helps you to be more neutral in those situations and really stop and think about things before you say whatever you're thinking. So that's one example, or one way that I think it's really useful.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I think also in just even avoiding conflict is a great example, but I'd like to take it a step back and just simply connecting with another individual. Because if you've got so much stuff going on, or if that water is, or that bucket is so full of just stuff, there's no room to connect with another. So whether you're having a reading with Denise or myself, you're part of that. I like to say that any communication session, and even any physical therapy session with an animal, is a three-way street. So, but especially when we're doing communication, the caregiver is a main part of that and a main vessel. And so why it's so important, and why we encourage you guys to kind of watch this video before a session, because the more centered you are, the more grounded you are, the easier channel it is for all three of us, ourselves, your animal, and yourself, to connect.
And we are constantly connecting with our animals, but you don't even realize it. When we live with them and we're with them 24/7, sometimes we don't realize where the information is coming from. So being grounded makes that just everyday interaction more easy to understand when we're relating to the people or the animals that we live with.
I love that. I love it. And it also makes it easier to hear. And like you said, easier to pick up on the information that's coming through. So it's easier to say, okay, is that me? Or is that, my animal that's trying to tell me something? Because you've gone to that quiet space. You've gone to that, that's really the most basic, the core, space where you're at one, and so you're able to pick up and also learn how you're receiving information. So for those of you who want to do animal communication with others, that's the most fundamental place to be. That's the starting point, is being able to even figure out how you're getting information and being able to discern whether that information is from here or from here or from the other animal. So yeah.
Well, that's a good point, because one of the benefits of grounding is to get out of your head a little bit. And the only moment that exists is the present moment. And I think most of us hardly spend any time in the present. And I was thinking about this book I read a few years ago, and unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it, but it was about how your brain function is related to your happiness. And there was a man who was injured in a car accident, and he had a brain injury, but it really only affected the part of his brain that was able to plan ahead. It was that forethought. And so he literally lost the ability to worry. He could no longer plan ahead or think about what was coming. And he was so much happier because there wasn't this constant thought of what about the next thing or what's coming up. So grounding helps us to really be in the present moment. And that can be useful, again, like we said, throughout your day, when you deal with stressful situations. And it is also important if you want to have a spiritual practice, or if you are participating in any kind of reading, whether it's your own or whether you're getting one from someone else.
Or even just spending time with your animal. Just think about a walk. I have a dog reactive, one of my dogs, and him and I are just attuned. And I know if I start, and many of you probably have noticed this. If you start getting anxious and worried, guess what? And those of you who have horses, whether you're on the ground or in the saddle, you know that too. What are you supposed to, what is the basic thing they teach you, even just for example, jumping, is to look at the jump, to think about the jump or look beyond. The horse is going to go where your thoughts are. And that's exactly what happens with, with what Denise was saying too. If we're 5 minutes ahead, or if we're thinking about everything else, you're not enjoying that moment. You're not being in the most peaceful walk, peaceful ride. Just a lot of stuff can happen. So Denise, aside from getting in an accident, should we talk about ways to, to a lot safer ways to ground and connect?
Yes, absolutely.
Although I do love that example. I think I need to look up that book, because that's heavenly. Sounds like, to live without worry, but we don't need to be getting into accidents to get to that place.
Well, that's right. It is possible to live that way without being injured. And we have to learn, though. I think in our society, we're trained to analyze things, to overthink about things. We have a lot of programming about ways that we think we should be. So we kind of have to undo some of that programming. And I do think grounding is really good for that. And one thing, and you kind of alluded to this, is just being in nature.
Yes.
Being outside, breathing in fresh air, that can help ground us. It reminds us that we are part of nature, and there is more than just us in this world that we live in.
Yes, there is actually scientific research. I would love to pull that up. I will talk about that in another video, where they actually talk about the positive and negative ions. There is actually scientific research where it's, just simply putting your feet in the ground, it just basically neutralizes you. It's just an easy way to say it. And so it's actually even scientifically backed. But let's say you don't live in an area that you want to put your feet on the ground. Even simply taking a walk with your dog, while grooming your horse, just taking a moment to breathe, I think can really get you centered.
Yes, even just breathing.
Yes.
Breathing is a great way that you can ground yourself. And I think this is a great chance to go into our meditation, because we were just talking about being in nature. And so I'm going to do that first, and then Mary Beth is going to go through a breathing exercise.
Yeah, it's kind of a longer, if you have a moment in the morning, or if you're, one of those that do enjoy meditation, Denise and I would love to lead you through this meditation, and then I'll jump into kind of a quick thing that you could even do in traffic to get back to that place. So let's introduce everybody to that place, Denise.
Yes, so I want to let you know it's going to be pretty short. Meditation can be intimidating, and I just want this to be something that's easy. It's a few minutes. You don't have to devote a ton of time to it. You don't have to sit down and close your eyes and not think about anything. It's a way of guiding your thoughts and bringing them back so that you're not kind of all over the place and just trying to be in the present moment. So the first thing we want to do is just get settled wherever you are. Feel free to close your eyes if you're in a space where you can do that. And start to notice your body. Part of grounding is feeling present in your body. So relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Notice if there is tension anywhere, and just breathe into that area. Notice any place where you are touching a surface. Your legs, maybe your back is leaning against a chair. Just be aware of what's touching you. And because nature is so important for grounding, we're going to imagine that we are in a meadow. Just imagine what the surroundings look like for you. And now you're taking off your shoes and putting your feet on the grass. And it's soft and clean. And just notice how that would feel. And notice a breeze that comes through. Maybe it rustles your hair a little bit, or maybe you feel it across your back. And with this breeze, notice if you smell anything. Smell the grass, smelling flowers. There could be lots of different flowers growing around you. Maybe there's water close by. Notice if you hear anything. Do you hear water running? Maybe hear a waterfall? Or maybe you hear birds chirping. You notice that they're flying over your head. Just take a moment to feel the sunshine coming down on you. Feel the warmth. Just notice how it feels to be connecting with nature. Continue to take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, you can start to feel into your body again. Come back and notice again where you're touching the surface. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes to remind you that you're here and present. And this is a great meditation for connecting to nature, even when you can't be outside. If you're sitting at your desk at work and you're stuck and you don't necessarily want to be there, this is a way to take yourself to a comforting space.
Thank you so much, Denise. That was beautiful. I hope the rest, all of you, found that beautiful too. I think it's so important, and I love how you mentioned, no matter where you are, you can do that. You can do that sitting in your home. You can do that in the office, anywhere you are. Just take a moment. But let's talk about what if you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off? You may not have 10 minutes to sit and do a full meditation, although you may feel your blood pressure spike or your heart rate spike, and you're like, nope, you know what? Denise and Mary Beth talked about the importance of breath. Like, I got to get back to that grounded place. So again, what if you don't have that time? The next thing we're going to talk about is the breath. So because a simple breath exercise can really get you to a space and even, help your body remember that space that you all just found with Denise. So,
especially if you've done a meditation in the morning or at some point during your day, it's much easier to get back to it than to start from scratch when you're already in a stressful situation.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of just like that muscle memory or just taking a moment to remind yourself, because we don't all live on meditation cushion. We live in the real world, which comes with traffic, comes with stress, comes with deadlines. And, like Denise said, you got to find that moment. And it really all boils down to breath. What did Denise start us off with is reminding your breath. That's the very first thing you do when you come into this world, and it's the very last thing you do when you leave. It's the most important thing you can do is that breath. And even just taking a moment to breathe can be so powerful. So, what we're going to lead you through now is a simple breathing exercise. Some of you may have heard it. It's called box breathing. All right, so I've heard this said in 4 seconds and 5 seconds. So you guys feel free to do what feels right for you. But what I'm going to do here is kind of just lead us through this breathing exercise and kind of draw the box, so this kind of hopefully helps you to remember it a little bit easier. So the top part of the box is just simply breathing in. So let's do that together for a count of 4. Now we're going to hold it for 4, 3, and then exhale. And then again, you're going to that pause for 4 seconds. So again, let's do that all together. And I'll just kind of walk you through it again. Again, the first part is breathe for 4, breathing it in, holding it for 4 to 5, exhaling for 4 to 5 seconds, and then just remaining in that pause and that space for 4 to 5 seconds. So let's just take a deep breath in together. Now hold. And exhale. And hold. Beautiful. And you feel free to repeat as many times as you need.
I love that, Mary Beth. That is something that I use all the time. Another one that I really love that's super easy is just breathe in ease, breathe out peace.
Oh, I love that.
So it's almost kind of like a mantra, but it feels like you're literally like when you breathe in, ease, breathe out peace.
Mhm.
And you don't have to close your eyes. I know I automatically go to that when
I
I'm
do
sitting
too.
here. But these are easy things that you can do when someone is standing right in front of you, and they don't have to know that you're counting your breath. So it's the hardest part is remembering to do it
Yeah, yeah.
when you're
That's
in a
why I
stressful
actually have it
situation.
tattooed on my arm because sometimes it's so hard to remember to do it, but it's so
But
important. And I love that mantra idea too, Denise. Thank you. So, whatever word, if it is ease or even simply positivity, negativity, if that's easy to remember, you're breathing in the positivity, exhale the negativity. Or, another word that you want to use, that you're just exhaling, depending how frustrated you are at the moment. Just exhale whatever you need to and
yes,
inhale the
and
positive.
whatever is meaningful to you is going to be the most relaxing and calming. So you can try a few different things and see what works.
Yep, exactly. The important thing is just to do it, just to do it. So I hope that helps. We'll send you guys just kind of a worksheet or a fun sheet of some of the things that we've talked about and a couple other little tips and tricks that you can do in the spur of the moment or, a little bit longer, depending on how much time you have.
That's right. So thank you so much for joining us. Um, and we're doing this in collaboration because we had the same animal communication teacher and we met in class, and it's been great collaborating. So if you've signed up with one of our email lists, please feel free to join the other one. We do have classes coming up. Uh, check the websites. Check the websites or watch your emails for notifications about new classes when they start. But we would love to hear from you. Please keep in touch. Let us know if you're grounding and how it's working for you.
Yes, thank you. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and looking forward to next time. Like Denise said, keep an eye on the emails. We'll send you guys information out. We do collaborate periodically, so feel free to look for those. But also, you don't want to miss out on what Denise is doing or what I'm doing. So if you're, please sign up for both. And looking forward to meeting you guys in the future.